As a matter of fact, having an all-weather China-Africa community is a statement that is pregnant with a lot of meaning and is loaded. If you unravel the mystique within that statement, it has to do with the fact that Africa, China, irrespective of the odds, the two the two will consistently stand together, work together, and do a whole lot of things together to achieve that shared community, of that shared future community, as well as a better world. Then another important aspect of that statement is it represents resilience and toughness. And as a matter of fact, the China and Africa, countries in Africa have gone through a whole lot, right from the period of colonialism up to this present days. And a lot of countries in Africa have not been able to develop, So that means we have to work together. We have to stand together in sincerity to achieve that shared future we all talk about. Finally, I will also say that statement represents honesty, sincerity, anonymity, and good faith, which was actually the opening statement of President Xi Jinping's speech at the 24th FOCAC. And so I think it's a word or a statement that we Africans and China have to hold, tenaciously and with sacrosanct.
Right, and apart from that, President Xi Jinping also said China will implement 10 partnership action plans with Africa to advance modernization. How would that move be of help to both sides?
As a matter of fact, it's going to be of great help to Africa as well as China. Modernization is a key component of every society. I must tell you that modernization and development is deliberate action that must be taken by countries. And so society must develop and modernize. The ultimate gain of modernization is about the greatest happiness of the greatest number of persons. Development, industrialization, will actually bring succor to a lot of economics, and economy in Africa, as well as even China. And so, importantly, and which is something that I hold dearly, is the fact that China is now saying, and from the words of the president, that they will help Africa modernize. And using the experience from China modernization history, you find out that modernization is not a one-size-fits-all. And so every country, like President Xi Jinping had opined, every country must, develop in their own pace, at their own pace, as well as develop within the social-structural dynamics of the society. And so I think I'm happy that this year's FOCAC, the 24th FOCAC and the 2024 FOCAC and the 9th FOCAC actually brought in the issue of modernization and development. And it is a very important aspect of our relationship. And we hope that it will come out well.
Exactly. Modernization is indeed a key word here, especially in this year's FOCAC forum. And the forum is actually about China and Africa, and it goes beyond China-Africa relations. As President Xi Jinping said, that the joint pursuit of modernization by China and Africa will set off a wave of modernization in the global south and open a new chapter for building a community with a shared future of humanity. What's your understanding of this?
Exactly. I must say that this is something we should embrace with a lot of love, amongst the two, China and African countries, because importantly, what has been mentioned, when the president talked about the modernization of the African states as well as China, issues that he looked at were climate change. And climate change is actually ravaging a lot of global south societies, and especially the African countries. He talked about green technology. This is the future, and China is ready to help Africa, push Africa to that future. He talked about industrialization. He talked about modernization. In fact, if you listen to the 10 plans that the president mentioned with regards to modernization, it's the same when you go back to the FOCAC plan of action, they are all elaborated in that document. And so, you see, for us as Africans, is what we need to do is to hold tenaciously to that promise that China has given to African countries. And the promises should be, pursued with all endeavors. And on the contrary, too, I will also suggest and ask that, you see, it is one thing to promise and another thing to fulfill that promise. But I hope, because in his opening statement, he talked about sincerity, he talked about amity, he talked about honesty, he talked about mutual relationship, and I hope, this will come out well in the nearest future. In fact, we are actually moving, with the all initiatives that have been put in place, like the GSI, Global Security Initiative, the GDI, Global Development Initiative. These are all initiatives that we African countries should tap from and learn from the Chinese growth and development history and processes.